Hey, we're going to continue our upgrades, renovation of the greenhouse that was built in 2017 by Misty, Raney of Homestead Rescue and Discovery Channel. Stay tuned. Let's get started, get busy, and go for gold here. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I brought you guys out here to the backyard today because I'm doing it's a homestead building projects episode. This is basically part 2 of the upgrade to the greenhouse episode. Now, like I said in the bumper, this greenhouse was built by Misty Raney when she was here on our homestead filming the hit TV show Homestead Rescue. Anyway, it was built in 2017. We had some success with the greenhouse, have been filming inside, have been growing crazy. A couple of years we didn't grow anything because, the floor was muddy. So in the previous episode, I showed you where I poured cement. I did a dry pour with some a fencing structure in there to give it stability, and then just wet down the cement. So we got a beautiful cement floor in there. Now this is stage 2 of that renovation, and stage 2 is, I got my timber, went down to the lumber yard, and I got a bunch of lumber, a few pieces as you see here. I did my measuring and cut my lumber to the length I needed them for the projects I wanted to do inside of the greenhouse. Once I got the the lumber all cut and trimmed, I painted it. And the paint I'm using it's called Storm Gray Eggshell. Well, it's the same paint I used to renovate my bathroom. It looks cool, and besides, coincidentally, it's the same color as the grow tubs that I purchased for my greenhouse. You'll see once we get it assembled. Here's a homestead hack for you for these paintbrushes that I'm using. I've been using one paintbrush on the whole paint job. I just store it in a Ziploc bag between painting, and it stays moist. It never dries out, so I don't have to keep washing the brush out between painting while the parcels or the boards are drying. So there's a homestead hack for you, a Ziploc bag for a paintbrush. So working in a greenhouse is really hot work. I'm sweating like crazy. So once I got it all painted, it took a couple of days to paint each side, let it dry, paint more sides, let it dry. So all in all, this project has taken me about 2-3 weeks, including pouring the cement floor. Now, it's time to assemble the shelves that I got, that I trimmed for this. Once the shelves are all painted, I'll go ahead and put them up. I got these shelving brackets for $1.25 at my local. It's called a Builder's Bargain Warehouse. It's almost like a Restore or a Habitat for Humanity store. Yeah, you can buy cheap stuff down there, and that's what I was able to do with this. So I got all the shelves in, and then I built my racks that you'll see as I get this assembled what those racks are for. And once all the racks are in, we'll just go ahead and keep putting racks in. Now that all the racks are in, I'm going to go ahead and put my tubs. These are bus tubs I purchased from my local restaurant supply retail store. I picked them up for about $5 a piece, and they're the right depth for growing shallow rooted plants. Especially, we're going to be focusing fall, winter, and spring growth in here, and then some stuff we can start in there and just take the tubs and move them out to the garden and transplant them in the garden when it comes time. Now that I got all my tubs in place, I'm going to go ahead and take my pots and just put them on the shelves just to fill in the shelves to give you an idea on where things are going to be going. Yep. And then on this top shelf, I put this shelf up here specifically. We have a Tonka toy collection. These are vintage toys, so I wanted to keep those out of the weather. So I'm going to go ahead and store them up here, because putting them up here is not going to impede or conflict with growing plants in the greenhouse. This is unusable space, so it's a good, sensible place to store them. So now that all the tubs are in place, I'm going to go ahead and fill that water barrel with some water. I got my hose bib right down here, and this hose bib, I tell you what, I am loving it. It's so handy just to have it in the greenhouse, especially during the winter months. Once the barrel is full, you note that I have a little rack here for the hose to store the hose on in here, and I have this little tool that can reach up high to water those plants on those upper shelves, and that's why I devised this plan. This is going to be so handy for me to do. One can admit that the atmosphere in here is just so much better. I'm going to enjoy coming out here. I think I'll use it for my winter studio. Come out here and get me some me time outdoors. Well, it's protected inside, but I don't like being stuffed up inside. This gives me the semblance of being outdoors. And I have heat. That's what these black barrels are for. We repainted them. And they're going to absorb the heat from the summer sun, and they'll radiate that heat throughout the night and keep the plants above freezing out here. Plus, I have a backup of this propane heater that we can use in here. I still have to add a fan in here to get air circulating, and of course we're going to vent it because, well, the fireplace creates CO2 gases, and like I mentioned in the earlier video, that gas feeds the plants. The plants takes that gas and converts it to sugars for food. So that's how they need that gas, which the Earth, the planet, by the way, makes it naturally. They take it, they need it to make oxygen. That's why Earth is one of those few planets, if the only planet, that has the ability to create oxygen in our atmosphere for us to breathe, because we have plants. Anyway, I have my lights here. I'm going to go ahead and hang those. This is the station that I wanted to use for my grow lights. So I'm going to go ahead and hang the lights here. For now, I already put hooks up here. And we'll just set that in there. And we've got a tangle. One thing about electricity and water you want to be very careful about. That's why I have a surge protector out here. I also have a this plugged in to a ground fault circuit interrupt place. So we plug that in. gonna have to figure out what to do with the excess here. I think zip ties, and then voila, we have light. I have a secondary light here, which is, I featured this light on a previous product review video. It's a spider lamp, so I'll go ahead and leave a link to that at the end of this video. And I also did a link to this little grow light. It simply screws into one of these lamps, and this is going to hang up here also. I might have to add a chain to get it down lower to the plants, the seedlings, when they start growing, because the light needs to be closer to them, especially during the time of year where I need them to be. Yes, let there be light. Okay, I have a pot here. Ooh, made in Italy. I didn't notice that. Well, this is the only pot I have of this size. So I'm going to go ahead and use this pot to store my tools in. I've got these little trimmers, these shears. I've got loppers that are in my tool shed. And I got all these different garden tools. I don't know why I have duplicate. Oh, they're different sizes, that's why. I have a meter that it tests the pH. That's what this also does, an electronic pH tester. And then this is a moisture tester right here, an electronic one. And then I have an awl. Don't know why I have that out here for. And I've got to spray some WD-40 on those. And of course scissors, I use scissors out here. And then I've got a couple more of these. I got a tool which actually punctures my irrigation pipe. I got a drip irrigation line that I got, about 2,000 feet of it from an estate cleanup. And to add more parts to it, I got this little tool to be able to puncture the line and add more parts. A pencil, and this attaches to a drill bit. It's an auger for planting bulbs and other plants, and of course my garden gloves. And all those are going to fit nicely. Oh, here's one more one more tool. Now they're all handy. And I'll just park it right here because there's a spot right here. And I got a home for it. And everything looks nice. Now, this I picked up at the treasure hunting. And it's a planter. So I'm not using the planter right now, but I'm storing all of my garden hose attachments in this. Now I just got to find a place to put this. I got plenty of shelves. Let's just park it up here for right now. Remind me that my hose attachments are up there because I will forget. And now, the finished product. What do you guys think? I like it. My wife was watching me process some of the earlier videos, and she really likes what she sees on the videos, and she did step out here and see the painting process, but she had not seen it all assembled yet. I know she's gonna love it out here because she wants to plant some of those house plants. She wants to start doing that, and that's why I put these other shelves up high, is to accommodate house plants, and then also adding the racks and shelves. I literally tripled the space for growing. Yeah, tripled. So bye. So tomorrow I'm going to start painting the outside of the greenhouse, and next week I'm going to bring in a bunch of potting soil, and we'll get everything laid in with potting soil and get everything planted on September 1st for the winter, well, the fall. Because my goal is to grow a lot of salad crops, because that's primarily what my wife and I eat. Is we do eat some of our meat that we've harvested off the farm. We've harvested a hog, we've harvested a deer. Let's see, Tuesday I have plans of culling a bunch of chickens and a bunch of rabbits. Yep, and maybe a couple of ducks, and they're all going to freezer camps. So with the meat supply we have going into fall and winter, and then all the plants that we're going to be harvesting from in here throughout the winter, hopefully I will not have to make a run to the grocery store except for those weird items that we just don't grow on the farm. Oh yeah, and I have my music up here to feed the plants music. So we're just going to turn it on. And then it's another ambient place for me to come in and relax and enjoy the music I like. Yeah, I like. And I'm not bothering my wife with my music. Well, I'm Jerry Hansen, your host. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. Stay tuned for some more homestead hacks and jury rigs. You can do that by subscribing and clicking that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Give us a thumbs up, click that share button. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms really helps out the channel a lot. Remember, be safe, always be kind. We'll see you guys in my next adventure. Bye-bye now.